yes, I'm grinding. The truth is, I'm finding there's no way out, no way up. Salty, yeah, I'm stuck like syrup. Welcome back to the Weekend Warriors Show Recap Podcast. TyJon Charlie here. This week I'm doing a deep dive on my new release called Syrup. So I won't be talking about shows or any of those wild adventures, but I will be getting deep into kind of the story behind the song Syrup. Just to get it going how I normally get it going when I'm playing the song live. My little preamble I usually give is, this is a song about feeling stuck. And it's definitely a pandemic tune. So I usually say those, at least those couple little things, and then I get right into it. But so yeah, I mean that's kind of the thesis of it, I think, to some extent. But I mean, it's definitely written in the pandemic, and I was definitely, thinking a lot about the haves and the have-nots. I don't consider myself a have, I don't think. And it was just a strange time. It was, everybody was just kind of a little extra anxious because nobody really knew what was going on, and maybe a little nervous. I think that I had just gotten this viola from the music store I was working at the time, and I play a little cello. I'm not very good. I'm not very good at any of the instruments I play, but I love playing them. But I've played on one of my own songs before, cello wise, and I did one with Ryan Edward Wolf. His song Counting Sheep, I gotta play cello on. So I mean, I can kind of do it. But anyway, so the viola's tuned the same, so it's like I knew kind of the finger patterns and the chording. My nervous tick became just playing around with this little new viola I had. And so it looks like a violin. If you're not familiar, but play it kind of, well, I can't really do it that good. It just feels awkward since I'm more used to the cello. And so I ended up kind of more strumming on it like a guitar, picking it kind of, ukulele, mandolin style. I could kind of work out some chords on it and play it kind of like a mandolin because it's in fifths, which is like what a mandolin's in. And so chord shapes are all pretty similar, except no frets. So you have to use your ear to figure out where those spots are. But anyway, so I was sitting around with this viola all the time, and I came up with this little riff on there, and pretty simple. I mean, I'm not a professional, I was just trying to kind of mess around. I came up with this little thing, and with the nervous energy of the pandemic, and then the words came like super fast, and because all this stuff was on my mind of everything that was going on. And, I just felt kind of helpless, kind of stuck. And I think that probably a lot of people felt like that. I know I did. And I can really only speak for myself. But that's what I was. There's a little bit of anger in there, too, I would say. Like, especially in the delivery and how I'm strumming the song and everything. It has a little bit of anger in there. I don't know, it just kind of became very clear how little control I actually had over things and how it could all go away so quickly. And it seemed like the division of the have and the have-nots grew. The rich got richer and the poor got poorer. I think there were some people that definitely capitalized on the pandemic to some extent. People that know what they're doing in life, I guess. Yeah, so I don't know. I was just kind of strumming on this little viola, wondering what was going to happen, how this was all going to pan out. And I don't know. It kind of had like a happy sound to it because it was on the viola, and I'm not very good at the viola, so I wasn't playing anything too complicated. So eventually I took this and translated it to the guitar. But, and I don't know, I just like the simplicity of it. Because a lot of times, I get in this habit of when I'm writing, is like, I don't want to be, so unoriginal. I don't want to just copy simple chord progressions and play those. Kind of a interesting rhythm in the way I decided to do it on the guitar. I do this kind of octave and then full bar chord thing, which kind of gives it a different vibe rhythmically, I would say. But it sounds upbeat, sounds happy. But and even if you listen to the song, the lyrics, the first round, you might, if you're not really listening to the lyrics, the chorus makes it almost seem happy, which, as most of my songs are, it is not, I guess, or not the most happy lyrics in the world, because I think that's kind of how I, express all the things that I'm just don't understand, or I'm sad about, or the confusion of it all, I guess. And so I figured I'd get into the actual lyrics. All right, so it starts, helpless, I'm grinding, the truth is I'm finding, there's no way out, no way up, salty, yeah, I'm stuck, like syrup. I say that line again, emphasize that line. Saying what I've already said, I just felt completely just not in control of anything going on, helpless. And I felt like I was still, working hard, but it just didn't seem like there's no way out, there's no way up. Like it doesn't, sometimes it seems like no matter what I do, I can't get into the forward momentum or get to the next level of things. And then the kind of hook line of the verse, salty, yeah, I'm stuck like syrup. So the story with that is we had eaten like pancakes or something one of the days. And the next day I put my hand on the table that we had eaten them on. My hand was stuck. I don't know, I guess that got stuck in my head a little bit. And then later that day I was looking at the syrup container from the pancakes, and it's like, wow, there's a little more sodium in here than I thought there was. And when you think of syrup, you think just sweet. You don't think salty or savory or anything like that. You're thinking. So it was kind of deceiving, and I felt like that was a interesting idea, I guess. Like you're not getting what you think you're getting, and I think part of it too is, I'm saying I'm salty two ways, that way, and then, like bitter, like my buddy Blair, the old guitar player in the Unemployed Architects, he would say the word salty when people they were offended or disgusted or annoyed. I think was more, they're like a little salty about something. So I guess that all kind of came together that way. And then the first pre-chorus goes, and just when I'm low down, another foot you found, stack it up a new way, and stackless, yeah, I'll stay. So this is, talking directly, I think, to the haves from the perspective of the have-not. And, just at a very low point, and doesn't feel like, I could get much lower. There's always a way for the haves to just keep making that money. We just didn't know what was going on. We didn't know, it was off for two. This is kind of beginning of pandemic when we just weren't working at all, and just didn't know how any of it was going to go. And again, so the last part is to stack it up a new way, and stackless, I'll stay. So yeah, it's just like no matter what I do, just can't get any of my own stacks, I guess. So then it gets to the chorus, and again, it kind of sounds happy if you barely listen, but if you really listen, you can get the words. Because I do this thing, which I thought was kind of a play on the tomorrow is a new day idea. I just add this little precursor, they'll say, and that's, again, talking about those haves and the rich and powerful people. They'll say, yeah, we'll fix it. Everything will be good tomorrow. And we just, again, didn't know how long this was going to last at all, but we knew at some point, or we hoped at some point it would kind of work itself out, or somebody would work it out. But okay, so it says tomorrow is a new day twice. Just get on your knees and stay. Yeah, pray tomorrow is a new day. So yeah, that yeah, pray, I kind of throw there in the end. The third line, I guess, is just straight up like, yeah, you guys are down there, and I'm up here. and you'll stay there. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of the general idea is the haves talking to the have-nots in the chorus, where, it subtly, or it sounds almost positive, and then subtly you have these little lines in there that make it almost say the opposite of what you might hear the first time through. So the next verse, it goes, months turn into years, days lost to nights in tears, there's no way out, I'm holed up. So yeah, we just didn't know how long it was going to be. At the beginning, we thought it was just going to be 2 weeks. And then that, kept getting pushed back further and further. And it's just wild sometimes how quickly, those days stack up, and time passes so quick sometimes if you're not, paying too close attention. It can just go really fast. And we were all, have that line, there's no way out, I'm holed up. So, I'm just kind of stuck and isolated, Lo and I were, and, not seeing anybody. I think that's kind of what that line's all about. And then it gets to that kind of verse hook, which is the salty, yeah, I'm stuck like syrup. So I was pretty excited to be able to work that line back in, because that's kind of the thesis of the song. So to get it in there a second time, and then emphasize the syrup line. And I just thought the line was cool. I don't know. I don't know if it is, but to me, I thought it was cool. Salty, yeah, I'm stuck like syrup. So the next part is the pre-chorus. The second pre-chorus is different than the first one. It goes, working and waiting, lights flickered, they're trading. All I have with all you got, but what they have, we do not. So kind of changes the perspective a little bit. There's kind of three people I'm talking about. There's you and I, which were the have-nots mostly, and then the they, which again are the haves. So the first part is working and waiting, lights flickered, they're trading. So, working hard, keeping my head down, waiting to get out of, this level I'm at, kind of waiting to level up to some extent, or to get out of the current situation. And then the next line is lights flickered. And that's just saying, like, even though I'm working hard and, trying to get out of it, I'm barely getting by. And because the lights flicker, I'm barely getting the bills paid, just barely making it. And they're trading all I have with all you got, but what they have, we do not. So that's just talking about, it just seems like sometimes the powerful people, the rich and powerful people, they're unaffected by a lot of things. They talk about how, well, we're going to do this for you and that for you. And, sometimes take some from over here and put it over here. And, some people are happy and some people aren't. And, that's kind of a distraction to pit us almost against each other. So it's like, they're moving stuff around on our level, but it really, again, they're kind of unaffected by it. They're in a much more comfortable place, and it ultimately we're kind of just pawns, because what they have, we do not. We're not going to get that. And then it does the chorus again, and then we're into the little bridge part, which is just driving that same point home a different way. Work ourselves to the bone, try to do it all on our own, but the water's rushing fast. Next breath might be my very last. So yeah, that idea of just working hard and not really making any headway, and maybe not getting a ton of help always. But the water's rushing fast. Next breath might be my very last. That's just saying, like, kind of referencing the chorus, saying that tomorrow is a new day. They'll say tomorrow is a new day, but today might be my last breath. I never know when the lights are going to go out completely. So it'd be nice to maybe get some relief before then. But it's always tomorrow, I guess, is kind of the idea. But and then does the chorus again. But yeah, so those are the lyrics to the song. It's kind of what I was thinking It's kind of how I wrote it, when I wrote it. I've actually had kind of a weird way to release a song is I had a couple live, well, I had an official live one out on Spotify and Apple and all the streamable places, all the streaming sites. But in a couple just random live performances of the song on YouTube before I even had a studio version. And it's just a little unusual, I think, but I performed it at the State and Water thing, and I thought it sounded pretty good, and I was like, I should include this for sure. And it's just like, it wasn't a finished version maybe when I was recording it there, but I guess my thought process was it might be kind of cool to see the whole process of where it started and kind of how it ends up sounding. It's kind of like a real metaphor for how I write a lot of songs. They start very rough, and I work on polishing them, playing them live all the time, and then eventually, I finally get them ready to be recorded, and then when they're ready to be recorded, I polish them up in the studio. So, and we're kind of just on level one of that, because it's just an acoustic version, the one that's out, and there is a YouTube videos too, so you can watch those. One has lyrics, one's just a regular video on YouTube, which that's more what it's all about, I think, on this version. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'd love if people would stream it and stuff and be excited that way, but this one was definitely more about the video, I think. But the idea is I will take this version and I will make it into that polished full band studio sound at some point to get that kind of bigger, more interesting, more elaborate. So this is just like the brass tacks version. And the way I recorded it was a little bit different. I just gotten it in my head. Like, really, it's been a slow process of getting it in my head, but I just wanted it to be true to how I sound live. Like, that was the whole point, is to make it sound as real and like me. I wanted that vocally, which I think I got it pretty close to. I mean, on a perfect day, that's how it would sound. And then the instrumental, a lot of times when I'm in the studio, we end up and we put instruments in to kind of take the place of something my pedal board might be doing, or like we'll put in a bass, but I have a bass pedal when I play it live, or put in some synth, but I kind of have this RV6 on the shimmer setting that I use, so to kind of emulate those sounds. But this time I just like, I want the real, how it really sounds more so. So I put it, got the pedal board actually in the studio and got my actual effects on it. So just kind of a different idea, trying to make it sound, I guess, more authentic or more real, and more like me, more my sound, because I've been working on getting that dialed in for years and years and years. So it's like, now that I got it somewhere close, I want that to be not something trying to emulate my sound, my actual sound. So that was kind of the thinking with the way I recorded it with the actual pedal board and stuff. And I just wanted the vocals to sound kind of as natural as possible. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a poppy song, but for me it is. I think for as far as songs I write, I think the simplicity and the kind of hammering in that chorus and then those verse hooks and stuff. I think just because I wrote it on the viola, it made me have to think simpler, because I don't really have a means to be very complicated on the viola. But it was just like a different mindset for the whole song. And I don't know, I've just been really excited about getting a good version of the song out. I've even almost used it as a reason to procrastinate on it, because, I want it to be like awesome. And, I want it to be the best it could possibly be. So I've used that as an excuse to actually not take the time to get it in the studio, because I'm almost scared of not capturing it right. But just went for it this time, had a whole different mindset, and I think it's pretty darn close. And then, of course, with what we'll do with it, I mean, sky's the limit. I'm excited to see where it goes. And I guess the overall idea then is, you see it, me perform it live a few different places, and then, I kind of grow it into how I want, getting it exactly how I want it. Then you get an acoustic version of it. And then, it's like more polished version of me and a guitar, pretty much. And then the next version will be like the big studio. And that's usually when I release songs. That's when you hear them mostly. It's just like when they're the final big studio band, full band version. And so, on this one, you can kind of follow the process. You can listen to there's even one I did before State and Water. I think it was at Weft Sessions in Champaign. And you can watch it there. Then the State and Water, the one-man band version of it. On both of those, I did an acoustic version of it for Kyle Yap's Pawn Shop series. I played a one-man band version of it for Maddiotta Media. So there's a series of songs there you can find on YouTube, but finally got the more studio kind of polished version of it, and gotten really good feedback from everybody who I've sent it to, and I don't know, I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see where it'll go with the full band version too. But I'm going to do, several acoustic songs really before I kind of get to that mentality of coming back through. I want to have like almost a full acoustic album, and then I'm going to kind of go back to the beginning and start working out the full band arrangements, which will be nice because I've been, ever since I get the acoustic version of it, I'm thinking of like how I want to arrange it full band. So it gives me a lot of time to kind of, like, I've been playing drums with that song like almost every day. So hopefully, and that's the other thing, is I want to definitely play all the instruments as much as, I might have Eric add some organ, just because there's a guy that's good at keys that is right next to you that could, make it sound that much cooler. We'll see what happens with it. I'm interested for sure, and I hope you are too. But anyway, if you are interested, you can stream the acoustic version of Syrup anywhere, and you stream anything, any music, and watch the video on YouTube. There's one with the lyrics, that's a vertical version, and then there's one without, that's just the horizontal. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. As always, I appreciate anybody who takes the time to listen, or took the time to listen, and I will talk to you next time. All right, have a good one. Bye.